Peace and blessings, family. Welcome back to another episode of Learn with Shavern. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. I appreciate everyone's support that have watched my videos. I am waiting on some feedback. If you guys, let me know if there's any topics that you guys find interesting or anything you would like me to elaborate and speak more on. I am totally open to that. So we're going to start off with today's quote. We are going to skip today's 3 fun facts. Not that there wasn't anything interesting in the news, but the material that I'm going to cover today is kind of heavy and it's going to take up a majority of our time. Now, I know for a lot of my melanated people, I keep these videos short intentionally to captivate your interest still, right? And my thought process behind this. As I stated in my first few videos, I don't watch television, but I observe how television executes itself. So when you watch a show, most of the time you watch a show, if you're not watching Netflix and you're watching cable, you're watching a show, the show is only on for, on average, 7 to 12 minutes, then you get a 30-second commercial. So with that being said, I keep these videos short to keep your attention span. That way you get this material, this information, and it doesn't overwhelm you because it is a lot of information. All right, so let's jump right in. So today's quote comes from Harvey Mackey, and he says, "Time is free, but it is priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. And once you've lost it, you can never get it back." So how many of us are out here wasting time, right? Or we wish away our time, a lot of us, without even knowing it. We'll say things like, "Man, I can't wait till it's Friday. Oh man, I can't wait till the weekend's here," right? We rush away our time. But in between that, while we're rushing away our time, what have you done with it? What have you accomplished? Have you been storing away your pennies? We're going to discuss the first 6 of Napoleon Hill's 17 principles of personal achievement. A lot of these principles I actually covered in my own way, right? Because a lot of this information is not just from Napoleon Hill. I use as my resources because I like to read, right? Napoleon Hill's books, Dale Carnegie's books about leadership, the author of The Secret, right? Reading The Secret, really, really good. My hiccup when I watch a lot of these things is that all these things were recorded or written back in like the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Not saying it's not relevant now, but to make it more modern in today's application is how we're going to relate it. So Napoleon Hill's first principle of personal achievement is definitive purpose. Well, we covered that, right? Episode 12, where we spoke about how to find your one. And how I mentioned that was, if time and money were not an issue for you, what would you be doing? Right? Again, that concept of time again. How are we spending our time? Are we wasting our time? So the first principle is definitive purpose, finding your want, right? The second principle is mastermind alliance. Well, the concept of today's show is to kind of harness a little bit on that mastermind principle and to help give you guys an understanding of the power behind it. You know how they say there's more power in numbers? Like if you're unified, you aren't divided, or however that saying goes. The more people you have going towards a common goal, the more guaranteed you are of success in a nutshell, right? And the mastermind alliance principle, okay, Napoleon Hill's second principle. If you guys watched episode 3, where I spoke about the 6 toxic people to avoid, you can't try to create something with somebody who is not on an even keel as you. Okay, so to explain what I mean, if you are a really outgoing, positive, uplifting individual, and let's say you have a brilliant idea, you have this new project you want to start on, and you know, because you have an understanding of the mastermind concept, it will require more than just you to make this come to fruition. So you decide, okay, I'm going to team up with my closest buddies. We're going to do this thing. Well, have not evaluated if your closest buddies are actually healthy for you to be around? Then that's the opposite of what the mastermind achievement principle is, or the mastermind alliance principle is, right? You want to have a minimum of 2 or more minds focused on a single common thought, purpose, or goal. That's the principle of it. Okay, 2 or more minds. So if I have my 5 people that I'm hanging around the most, and we all come up with brilliant ideas, just like cogwheels, as one is turning, the other one moves, right? So if we all come up with brilliant ideas and we all now are focused on this one single brilliant idea to put it together, we have a greater chance of success in making that happen as opposed to the one lone shark or the one lone man out here, the lone star trying to do it by themselves. Napoleon Hill's 3rd principle of personal achievement is faith. Right? If you guys watched my first episode where I spoke about the 3 acts of self-love, part of that comes in believing in self, right? You can't believe in God if you don't believe in self. You cannot believe that there is some external higher power outside of you, because there isn't. You are it. You are the most powerful thing in your life. You affect it, end all, it be all. So having faith in yourself, having faith that whatever it is you're putting your mental energy into will come to fruition, right? And the 4th principle kind of goes hand in hand with this, because if I think it and I hold that thought in my mind and I'm constantly, no matter what I'm doing, my thought is there about my single purpose, right? Now I can go the extra mile because I found my purpose. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that once you find your purpose, you will stop procrastinating. It will be the thing that gets you up in the morning that you will absolutely love to do. So guess what? Principle number 4 will naturally come to you, which is going the extra mile that Napoleon Hill says, right? Going the extra mile. So just, you ever have to go the extra mile at work? You're like, man, they don't pay me for this. That's outside of my job description. Imagine going the extra mile for yourself. Imagine what that can do for you. A lot of us don't go the extra mile at work. We also don't do it for ourselves either. We get stuck in that mentality. And remember, the subconscious does not know how to differentiate the same way that the conscious mind does, right? The functional mind, it does not know how to differentiate that way. So when you say to yourself like, oh man, I'm not going the extra mile at work, or man, I'm not doing that extra credit project at school. Now you've conditioned your mind to say, well, hey, we're not going to go the extra mile ever. You want to change your thought process on that. The 5th principle that Napoleon Hill mentions out of his 17 principles, which we're going to finish the other few tomorrow, because again, for the sake of attention spans, we keep these short and direct. The 5th principle is called the pleasing personality. Now, don't misconstrue the pleasing personality saying you have to be bubbly and giddy all day, every day. Some people, that's just not naturally in them. Some people are slow to warm up, right? Maybe at the beginning of the day, they're like, oh, no human interaction. Then later on in the day, they're like, yay, human interaction. I'm cool with this now. And then they go revert back into that, okay? So a pleasing personality is, in a nutshell, just somebody who can tap into the positiveness of their personality. This can be difficult or challenging for some people, because some people may not have a positive aspect to their personality because they have not found it yet. Okay, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know how positive you are until you're forced to be put in a positive situation, and vice versa, right? You will not realize how negative you are until you're put in a positive situation with a bunch of positive people. Then you self-reflect on how negative you are because you're the only one like that. So you want to have a pleasing personality and remaining positive in whatever it is that you're thinking about. And then number 6, personal initiative. Now, in my opinion, if I wrote these myself, I would put personal initiative as number 1, okay? Because it takes initiative for you to say, hey, I have decided now, I have declared that I am now doing X, Y, and Z. I am now executing X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's personal initiative. It takes initiative to find purpose, I believe. So I'm not really sure why he has that as number 6, but again, I didn't write the book. That's the order that he has it. But you want to take initiative into whatever it is that you plan on executing. Don't wait for anyone's permission. Don't wait for anyone to hand you anything on a silver platter. Because especially in this country, We are not handed anything. Unless you are like the Hiltons or the Kardashians, nothing is handed to you. Unless you got some special scheme out there, nothing is handed to you, right? Everything you have to manifest it. And the other 11 principles we're actually going to go over. I'm going to cover another 6 tomorrow, and we're going to discuss how they factor in. So please like, share, subscribe. I thank you all so much for joining. I would appreciate your feedback. I appreciate those of you who have given me feedback thus far. We are a work in progress, learners and thinkers family. Have a positive, productive, and wonderful day, guys.